Okay, welcome all to Physics STPM code 960. So welcome to SDJ. I am Teacher Praise. I'll be teaching you physics for the next 2 years. If you are willing to answer physics, I've heard about the facts and figures that most of you opt for biology. So I hope that you don't live to regret to this decision. Okay, so do not be deceived by the apples that is hanging in the garden as being expressed by your biology teacher. Okay, but come, let's get real. Let's see what the real world demands from you, as most assuredly physics STPM delivers you that promise. Okay, so I know most of you are in dilemma actually. Okay, let's be honest that you are thinking either to choose biology or physics. But let me give you a genuine advice. How about you decide on what you want to embark upon when you are doing your degree in your university later, and then you decide whether you like to choose between biology or physics, which I hope you choose physics. Okay. Okay, according to the slide that you're looking right now, okay, I know most of you are in deja vu mode. Oh, lama, alamak, okay, not again. Okay, I'm looking at the formulas and derivations, blah blah blah. Sometimes make some people having migraine. Okay, but don't worry, you are not in this alone. You have your teacher. You'll be having your classmates, and together, okay, we will help each other to find success. Okay, there'll be always maybe a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So do not be worried. So let's say if you choose physics, what are we looking at? Okay, we are actually looking to create and design students who can cater to industry 4.0. What does this mean? Okay, at your age level, I would like to um explain by showing you this slide where you can see in 2015 and in 2020. Let's say we compare some of the skills which is required in 2015 is no longer required in 2020. Okay, so as the pace of this era is changing very fast, thus its demand of the task force and the work skills is also very much in change and also in demands. Therefore, I can assure you physics STPM can help to mold you to get at least 80% of these skills in order to get you ready for this upcoming industry 4.0. All right. Okay, so some of you also may be in dilemma if whether to choose between STPM or matriculation. So what, according to the stats by of UPU from one of these years, from year 1819. Okay, you can see to the stats over there that the STPM students intake is 56% compared to matriculation 44%. Okay, it shows that STPM students in demand, apatah lagi, lebih-lebih lagi budak-budak fizik STPM. Okay, let's say all of you decided to go with physics STPM. So what you'll be looking at? Okay, it aims to enhance your knowledge and your understanding of physics. And point number two is the most important of all. We would like to send you happily to your desired course when you are in your higher learning institute, higher learning education later. Okay, so we got many success stories. Okay, but to cut the long story short, for the past 5 years, only two students in physics SPM was not offered a place in our local university. Okay, the rest all are actually offered. Okay, it's a big achievement. We have tremendous achievements by our ex students. Okay, so I'll tell you all this during the first class of physics. Let's say you decide to choose physics. Okay, in this slide, the most important characteristics that you are required to do is to solve problems. Okay, nobody will hire a guy who doesn't sell his product, who doesn't sell his ideas, who can't market himself. So this is where you will be required to learn and relearn this skill in physics STPM. Now, three terms in STPM is divided into three different major chapters. Okay, the first term or the first 6 months, as we call it, is you have 11 topics which will cover mechanics and thermodynamics. The second term or the next 6 months will be covering seven topics which will talk about electricity and magnetism. And finally, the last 6 months, or the seven topics which will cover waves, optics, and modern physics. Okay, so basically, to relate with your Form 5, you'll be relearning some of the topics that you have learned in Form 5, but in depth. In depth. That is the biggest difference between Form 5 physics and Form 6 physics. Okay, so here you go. You'll be looking at few slides, or the majority of the slides today is about what are the topics that you would learn in your physics STPM. Okay, so we will start with physical quantities. Okay, we have statics, the formation of solids, kinetic theory of gases, thermodynamics, heat transfer, and so on. So in the second term will be more on electricity and capacitors, where we have you'll be relearning about Fleming's left hand rule, Fleming's right hand rule, more on the discoveries made by Faraday, Ampere, and even Oersted. Okay, who is Oersted? Have you heard about Oersted? Okay, so he is a big guy. Okay, who has a big contribution. You may not have known him in your Form 5, but you learn more about him, and especially the biggest hero of all, which is Max Planck and Faraday, especially. Okay, so these are the heroes that you'll be looking in semester two of their works, of their findings, where we will analyze and we will do problem solving regarding their findings. Okay, next we have the third term, or the SEM figure, we call it, where we will look upon waves. Okay, so most of these subtopics in semester 3 is actually new to you. Okay, so but as you grow up in semester 1 and semester 2, semester 3 will be more acceptable to you, as you are more matured and you are more ready to take in subjects. Plus, I always find that the third term students are always more serious. They are objective driven. Okay, so it will be a privilege to see you in your semester 3. You yourself will notice a big or huge difference within yourselves when you are in your third semester. Okay, so one of the most toughest chapter, wave optics. Okay, quantum physics, and lastly nuclear physics. So all these chapters will cover sem 1, sem 2, sem 3. Next, we have school-based practical assessments of practical, where you have 13 compulsory experiments as per determined by the MPM, and also one project work that will have to do under my supervision. Okay, so these 13 experiments will help you, or will help to propel your marks later in your final score. Okay, so these experiments which is being designed, okay, design will help you to actually see for yourself many phenomena, or the topics, or the definitions, or the problem solvings uh, in detail and in depth as well. So it helps you to understand the subtopic even better. Okay, some of the experiments will be done. Most of the experiments will be done individually, and some of it will be in group work. So you'll be assessed individually of each marks and each student. All right. Okay. Lastly, about the project. Okay, so this is the example of project. Okay, you have to create an experiment that talks about projectile motion. So this is just an example saja. Okay, so this project must be original. Okay, must be an original idea. Thou shall not copy from any book. You have to crack up your head and to create some experiment that will prove the theory regarding projectile motion. Okay, so don't worry. I'll be there to guide you throughout every process in your project. All right. Okay, so in physics STPM paper, it is divided into section A, B, and C. Section A comprises of 15 MCQs, where it is of 15 marks. Section B, 15 marks, two short structured questions, and Section C will have three essays, where you are required only to answer two. Okay, and three papers: paper one, paper two, paper three. Okay, for the 3 semesters. All right. So in paper one, Okay, the weightage will be 26.67%, in paper 2 26.67%, and paper 3 will be 26.67%. If you're wondering where the remaining marks will cater to, that will be under your school-based assessments of practicals, and your project which will take up 20% of your total marks. Therefore, your focus, your commitments towards this practical is very much needed, and these kinds of commitment and data-driven assessments or tasks will help you to achieve your our discussed objective earlier. All right. So next, the field of studies for physics, as you all know, it's more or less inclined to engineering. So you have mechanical engineering, triple E. This is one of the toughest courses in the world, actually. Much more tougher than chemical engineering will be triple E. Actually, but the demand for this triple E course graduates is very much higher. Okay, pure physics, instrumentation science, material science, applied physics, geophysics, medical physics, biotech, physiotherapy, and OSHA. Okay, or occupational safety and health. Okay, so this is some of the things that you will encounter in physics. So this is our lab actually, where we will have students to do explanation besides all the theory that you will be looking upon. And this is the discussion that we had from between interschools. Okay, this is the discussion that we had with in SSI. Okay, so our long time partner and rival is always SSI. So we will at times combine with them in terms of teaching and even problem solving skills, or what you know as Benkil as much. Okay. Okay, and this is during the experiment. Okay, if you see the tables in the lab is very much empty. Why? Because the number of students entering physics class is actually very less. So I pity those guys who do not enter physics compared to the crowded atmosphere that you would have in biology. So it is more controlled, it is more calm, and you are more driven actually. Right? So I would like to thank you for your time, thank you for your attention, thank you for not sleeping, and thank you for giving physics a chance in your life. All right. So I see you soon in our first class. Thank you again.